I am recording. Ba, ba, ba.
I am recording. Ba, ba, ba. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 633rd episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me today is Bobby.
Hello, I'm here. I am ready to not be on Snowdrop Island or whatever it's called anymore. I don't want to be here. I don't like it. I'm done. I want to go back to the beach. So
Got news for you. And for the first time ever, we finally have Bobby and Bob on an episode. Bob is back.
This is a historic moment in podcast history. Mark your calendars, folks. This will never happen again. No, I'm excited. And a PSA: do not evolve into Quackquaval for Pokemon Sleep for Suicune. Please, reminder: don't do it.
Quackquaval.
Is it Quackquaval? I don't know my Pokemon names. I need a Pokédex for this.
I think I think it's Quackquaval.
Have they said it in the anime?
They haven't said it in the anime.
Yeah, so it could be Quackquaval.
Quackquaval.
What's the middle one called?
Quaxwell.
Quaxwell.
So probably Quackquaval.
Quackquaval.
Who knows?
Well, we could spend the next hour talking about how to pronounce Pokemon names. That's cool. I'm very into this.
That's fine.
Okay, so our show for you guys today is we have some Pokemon Sleep news, Pokemon Masters 5-year anniversary. There's a bunch of information on the new Pokemon GO update. And then there is some TCG information, which actually ties into Legends Z-A. So I know people love when we talk about main series games. And there is some, if we look at how the trademarks work for TCG stuff. So we can go down that route. But I guess before we get into the Pokemon Sleep news, I do want to point out that this was not on the show notes. I'm sorry, Bobby and Bob. That we didn't really talk about Hisuian Sliggoo being in the Timeless Woods, which is not the first, I think, Hisuian Pokemon we've gotten. Am I wrong on that? I feel like we've gotten regional forms of like Raichu and stuff.
True.
Is this maybe the first one?
Was there...
Like Hisuian Quillfish is already in the Blueberry Academy.
Okay, that's
I was going to mention that one too.
Quillfish,
yeah. And then Hisuian Basculin is in the Timeless Forest already. I would assume throughout the rest of this life cycle of Scarlet and Violet, I'm literally talking about Scarlet and Violet to feed these people's needs of needing to know about main series games. Anyways, I'm assuming that we will see Hisuian Sneasel and Sneasler and I'm blanking. Weirdeer and
Growlithe.
Braverary and Meowth. Yeah, not Meowth. Well, Meowth. I do see them doing a Meowth where like Kanto Meowth is on Paldea. The
Alolan
Meowth is in Blueberry.
Right.
Galarian Meowth and Kitakami. I do see that. Anyways, the point I'm making is I think that all the Hisui Pokemon are coming to Scarlet and Violet through outbreaks one way or another, as well as like the rest of the starters and whatever other Pokemon they would want to put in 7-star raids.
Yep.
So there's like lore behind Timeless Woods of why Basculin is there and why Sliggoo appeared. So they can make any exception for the Timeless Woods part of Kitakami.
They can make something up and I'll be like, yes, I agree with this decision. So this will work.
And because we're recording this on a Sunday, probably by the time this goes up, they'll announce whatever the next 7-star raid is going to be. Oh,
right. They're done with the summer. Like they're done with all the announcements they had made, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they do those? They did those all at once, right? So like this last outbreak and raid that we'd known about that for a while, right?
They gave us 2 months of content.
That now it's done though, right? So now we don't know anything of what's coming next. Okay. Cool.
I hope they do like here's another 2 months. I like that they kind of like plan that out.
Yeah.
And even with like the Dragonite and the Dondozo, it wasn't like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was just here it is for 2 weeks. And I think that
I enjoyed being able to go through, because there were so many. So I mean, for me, who has like tries to collect for like a living dex, right? For especially for like shinies, there was a lot of different outbreaks to go through. I didn't even actually get like one of each of everything, but like it was nice to have more than just like 3 days to try to catch Larvitar and Bagon and Beldum and Sliggoo and Gumi. You know, like there's a lot to do in like 3 days. So it was nice that it was like a week or 10 days, whatever it was.
I think this recent outbreak was 10 days.
Yeah.
And if you forgot to do your Sliggoo or your Beldum, just don't connect to the internet when you're listening to this podcast, and they will stay until you do connect to the internet. Assuming you've connected to the internet at least once in the last 10 days.
So I know what I'm not doing today. I'm gonna tie because I have to get mine still, so I need to do that.
Not connect to the internet.
I will not connect to the internet.
Same, because I forgot you could do that. So great, I still have a chance.
Yes. Yeah, I did not get a chance to do anything besides Sliggoo. And I think I want to try for like a Larvitar or a...
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Bagon.
Bagon, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I will say I got Sliggoo because that was the first one I was after with the 2 Hisui and Sliggoo. But Beldum is so hard to catch. Yeah, so, I think I ran up on a Beldum and then realized I had like 37 luxury balls. I was like, obviously I have to catch it in a luxury ball because I always catch my shinies in luxury balls. I ran out of the 37. Luckily I had saved it, so I just reset the game. I had to reset the game like 3 times before I finally got the Beldum. So that's a tough one.
Yeah. We could spend the next hour talking about how catching is I would love to have that conversation again. Beldum, for whatever reason, has the same catch rate as like Mewtwo and other legendaries.
Right. It's so weird.
Yeah. I just master ball it. I'm not wasting my time. I'm a busy man. Put a Beldum in a master ball, call it a day, go make dinner. I'm all good.
I mean, shiny Metagross in a master ball does look pretty good.
It does.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this podcast. Pokemon Sleep. The thing that everyone wants to hear about. There was a 1.11.0 update. It does change a couple things here. And we say this every week. The communication from Select Button on this game is just fantastic. Mm-hmm. The updates here are, they added a function that continuously increases the number of candies when you hold the increase button to level up. So that is very nice. They were also going to, this is why I think their communication is fantastic. They were originally going to add a back button where if you hold it down, it will take you back to the home screen. And they actually said, like, we couldn't get this to work. So heads up, we were trying to make this happen. It didn't work, but we will fix it in a future update. Which Niantic could never. Niantic would blame us that something went wrong. They made adjustments so it's possible to use dream clusters from the use item button. They also adjusted that allowed changes to graphic quality and FPS from the menu on the title screen. They adjusted a display of friends' login times, which Pokemon Go has not done this in 8 years, and I wish they would. So now in Pokemon Sleep, it would be like 1 day. What was it? It was like 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was. And now they're saying, now you can see if a friend has logged in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7+ days on the research page. And your friends list in Pokemon Sleep, very important, because that is literally free candy every single day.
Yeah.
And I hate deleting people. I don't know if you guys have had to delete people yet, but like if you didn't play during the 1 year anniversary and you were 7+ days, I'm sorry. You like skipped the best event.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been there a couple of times because you're right, Steve. That list is just free candy that you just log in once, a couple times a day, because people have different time zones. They wake up, they catalog their sleep. you get free candy. And I kind of want to be around people who enjoy the game as much as I do. So if I don't see you doing this stuff, I'm like, I don't know. I might have to vote you off. I don't like this.
Well, Bob, are you still whaling this game pretty hard? You were a good camp ticket every single week.
I do. What? Well, actually, hold on.
Whoa.
I take that back. I would say 90% of the time I do a good camp ticket every single week. There are some weeks, like if I'm like on the first 2 islands, I don't do it because I have maxed out percentages and I can get to Masters pretty quickly. Maybe on Lapis, I'll do a good camp ticket. But the last couple of weeks, I haven't done it because I'm saving it for Suicune when it comes out. But I still think that's the best item that if you can... And sometimes Pokemon Sleep will have like a very special bundle. Like once in a while, it'll be like $2.99, I think. You get some gems. You get a good camp ticket because the good camp ticket is about $5 to start off. So if you're ever in that position where you want to maybe dip your toe into the play to win arena and you see that promotion, definitely go for it. But I still think the best item in the game is that good camp ticket because you get boosted pots. Your workers will be getting more ingredients and berries quicker. You'll get a guaranteed hungry Pokemon on your campsite that's not shiny. So it really does have a lot. But yes, I do 9 out of 10 times do buy a good camp ticket every single
time. Keeping this game in business.
Yeah, select button. I'm on that payroll, believe it or not. For that, no, I like it.
I used a good camp ticket this week because I thought, okay, first time going to Snowdrop, let me just like go in and start off like, doing a little bit better with a ticket. And then like halfway through the week, I decided to change my strategy to like, oh, I should be collecting stuff in preparation for Suicune and not using a bunch of stuff for meals. And then I kind of felt like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this. I mean, it still worked out. It was still okay. Like, but it was just like, I should probably like just like figure out my strategy at the beginning of the week and not 3 days into the week for what I'm doing. But I feel like every time I use a good camp ticket, the week after, I'm so tempted to just use it because I'm like, back to like
I see.
regular. Like, I don't want to do that. Like,
my strategy was I did want to use a good camp ticket this week because I was on Lapis. And I'm max on Lapis, but I was like, I want to push Lapis a little bit harder because without a good camp ticket, I can only get to like Master Rank 5 on Lapis. And obviously, like Master Rank 7, 8, 9 that's when you're like getting the good stuff. And I'm still looking for routes. Like I'm still looking for a good Ralts. I don't have one. So I did good camp ticket halfway through the week. So then when Suicune starts, I'll have 3 days of good camp ticket. So I can push Suicune really hard those first 3 days on Greengrass. And I know that I can get to Greengrass 10 without a good camp ticket. So then the rest of the week, I won't need the good camp ticket. And then I can save an actual good camp ticket for the second week. So I kind of like dipped my toes into...
That's pretty good.
Interesting strategy there.
I like
just, if you didn't know, you can pop the good camp ticket at any time and it just gives you 7 days. So you don't have to do it on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Gonna do that.
They also added a thing in Pokemon Sleep where you can now see what device people are using to sleep with.
Yeah.
And I don't think it doesn't like change the game or like, oh my gosh, I gotta log in. But it is like a cool thing to be like, oh, this person has like the plus next to their name, or this person has a phone next to their name. I don't know if I think they were talking about in the Slack, Bobby. I could be wrong, but was there a difference between tablet and phone? I thought I saw Hannah mention something about this.
I don't know. Actually, I didn't notice. Because like, how would that work for like
the icon would just be bigger?
Phone is folding phone just phone.
I wanted it to be so advanced that I can see if it's an iPhone or a Samsung or a flip phone.
Oh, I don't think it goes that deep. I think it's just a device.
Yeah.
But that'd be pretty cool to see. Okay, who are these green bubbles and blue bubbles here in my Pokemon Sleep?
Give me that in Pokemon Sleep.
But I will say, because I actually saw it behind next to your name, Steve, in the list. I'm like, what is this? So I looked it up, and I just noticed that it is, I think, defaulted to toggle off. So you have to actually enable if you want to share that information, which
Yes.
I don't think it's a harmful thing at this point, but I think it's more like,
I mean, people are already seeing my sleep data. I don't know if the device is gonna let me.
yeah. So
Yeah. I mean, unless you're telling people you're using a Go++, and then all of a sudden they see a mobile device pop up, and then they know you're lying. So
see,
make sure you're being truthful if you have it turned on, and so people know what you're actually using.
Here's the thing: if you ever see my name with a mobile device, I'm probably traveling because I forgot my Go++.
Oh,
So
there we go.
That's a little inside.
That is valuable information.
If you see me with a phone icon, I forgot my Go++.
The other thing, we have a little extra time today. There was this is not like super breaking news. I think it is interesting how there's so many different play styles in Pokemon Sleep. We've talked about on this show how the meta for Pokemon Sleep is like, I wouldn't say like Golduck is the best Pokemon, but you'll see a lot of hardcore players talk about Golduck. Bob, are you a Golduck user?
Oh, of course not. No. I would say
blasphemy. How dare you consider me to be a Golduck user?
I will say probably in the first couple of months I had a decent Golduck on my team, but then I just, got rid of it. I just didn't find any value behind the Golduck, to be honest with you. And
you
then
transferred it? You actually got rid of it, or you just? Oh, okay.
He literally was so upset with the Golduck meta that they just transferred it.
Yeah, no, I don't really use Golduck as much when I had it. I think I just had other Pokemon take over its slot for the ability. But other than that, I have a decent number of ingredient gatherers. I have a really good Wigglytuff that does the energy for everyone. So I don't really need a Waltz. I just use that. And then I have a decent Dedenne and a Cramorant that does the lucky extra tasty chances.
Yeah.
And other than that, I save maybe 1 or 2 slots for that island's berry specialist and just put it in there. So
and you're an expert spending good camp ticket every single week.
Oh yeah. When I see if I see a Pokemon that I don't like, I get my candy back for it. I'm like, please don't waste my spot in my list. I am and I don't use grading systems. Like I can look at the Pokemon and say, yes, this is good, or no, this is subpar, and just move on. And
yeah, I think when you play long enough, you can kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're there yet, Bobby, where when you're looking at it, you kind of know.
Yeah, no, for the most part, like I was using the grading. I was trying the 2 different sites for like grading at one point in time. And then I was kind of just like, oh, I'm kind of tired of this. I will use the candy calculator to just to see like, okay, how much do I need to spend to get to like level 30 or whatever.
A candy calculator website?
Yeah, so you can just put in what level you're at, what level you're going to, if you have EXP down or up, and then it'll just tell you like this is how much candy it would take to get to like whatever level you're looking to get to.
Got it. Not me doing like 2 rare candies and then another 2 rare candies and then another 2 rare candies, because you don't want to like overdo it because you're just trying to get to like 30.
Yeah, exactly. So I will do that, but I don't use the grading systems anymore. But I will sometimes like send like Steve, I'll send you a Pokemon, or I'll send it in Slack and be like, should I invest in this? Like, I think this is good, but like maybe I'm like not seeing something that someone else sees. So I'll do that from time to time.
So there was like a survey in Japan of like Japan's favorite Pokemon, and we're not going to go through the whole list, but what Japan considers S tier Pokemon are Dedenne, Gardevoir, Dragonite, Blastoise, Victory Bell, and Skeledirge. And I have a very mediocre Dedenne. That's why I'm on Lapis. I'm like looking for a better one, and good thing I've seen 1 in 3 weeks. But I've always like, to me, Dedenne is S tier. Like I even my mediocre one I feel like is still super good. I have a Dragonite, I have a Blastoise, I have a Victory Bell. I agree. I think all of those are S tier. Like they just bring so much ingredients so quickly.
Okay.
Never used a Skeledirge, so I can't speak to that.
Quick question about Dedenne, because I don't have one. What makes it, because I know nothing about it other than it's got the extra tasty is the main skill for it.
Yeah.
What makes it so much better than Cramorant?
Oh,
Like, is it just the ingredients and how quick it is?
it's not. It's the opposite.
Wait, what?
Bob, you want to explain?
Well, I was gonna say it's because Cramorant is really an ingredient Pokemon at heart,
Yes.
and then Dedenne is a skill based Pokemon, and that's why.
Oh, I
so
didn't think about
Dedenne
that.
was the first one to come out with that extra tasty power up. So
Yeah.
that's why I think, and I agree with the list, that Dedenne is such a sought after Pokemon because you invest a good skill Dedenne to get that extra tasty. I have a Cramorant that has some ingredient power ups and it has one skill trigger ability. So I can kind of get the best of both worlds there, but I really think Cramorant is more of that ingredient gatherer than what a Dedenne is.
Okay. I didn't even think about the whole skills versus ingredients versus berries.
Yeah, Dedenne skill. So because it's skill, it can bank a power up.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Like almost every morning with Dedenne, I'm getting 8%, not 4%, because it's proccing twice.
Nice.
Like my Cramorant has main skill up, but because Cramorant's a skill mon, I maybe get it to proc once a day. Where like Dedenne, I'm getting 4 to 6 procs a day, and again, my Dedenne is not main skill up. It's not skill trigger. It's literally like inventory because it's like the only one I have. So, and I think the reason Gardevoir is here is just because Gardevoir is a better Wigglytuff. It's just like there's power creep there. So like not that Wigglytuff is like bad, but like once you get a Gardevoir, there's almost no reason to run Wigglytuff unless the berry itself matches on the island. But like I run Wigglytuff every week, regardless of berry, just because of how powerful she is.
Yeah. Same. So okay, I was just looking at my Cramorant real quick because I was like, why do I feel like my Cramorant does proc a lot? It's because it's got ingredient finding up, and I also have skill trigger M.
Oh yeah,
so that
skill
must
trigger
be what is helping there. So
I think my Cramorant eventually gets a skill trigger at like 50. But I was like, do I invest to 50 or do I just wait for a better Cramorant at that point?
Well, you have like 50 Cramorant, so
I did throw a lot of them away because I was trying to get the right one. Now the if you want A tier Pokemon, they're saying Walrein, Raichu, Meganium, Typhlosion, Feraligatr. None of these are surprising. Steelix, Sylveon. Sylveon is technically also a better Wigglytuff, but my video explains why you should just go Wigglytuff instead of Sylveon. But on paper, Sylveon is better. Delibird, Tyranitar, Charizard, Beware, Quagsire for those coming up to Suicune. If you did get a good Quagsire, the Japanese players are saying it's A, and then Venusaur. And they do put Mr. Golduck and Mr. Cramorant into the D tier here. So different playstyles. I mean, when you look at like VGC, the Japanese players are always playing a different VGC game than the American players or the European players. But I think the takeaway here is, one, now you know some of the A tier Pokemon if you're new to Pokemon Sleep, but also like there's no like right or wrong way to play Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Okay. So I'm Golduck D tier. I'm sure Steve's sitting there like, I knew it. I've been saying it this whole time. It's not as good as everybody says. What is Gold? I haven't I looked at this and then I forgot to go look at what Golduck. Like, what is Golduck's skill and everything? Because I don't even have a Golduck. I never evolved a Psyduck or anything.
Golduck's skill is like procking to just boost Snorlax's charge power.
Oh, like Ghastly, like Geo, like those ones?
That's like a Gengar or Ampharos does that as well. I think Raichu also does it.
Quaquaval does it.
But Golduck does it the best because of how often it does it. Because Dedenne procs so much, you just apply that to Golduck, but instead of charge power. So you could let's just say for ease of use, and you're not Bob and you're not using a good camp ticket every single week, let's just say you're getting like 30,000 a meal. So it's about like 90,000 a day. Because Golduck procs so much, he's also getting you probably an extra 30 to 40,000 a day, assuming that you have a perfect Golduck, right? You need like skill trigger small, skill trigger medium, main skill trigger up, usually helping speed. Like you need a very specific Golduck, but ultimately you're getting a free 4th meal with Golduck. The way I see it, and I think why Dedenne is ranked S here for Japanese players, is because if you can hit one critical hit, you're doubling one of your meals, which is ultimately that 4th meal that Golduck gets without needing to get a very specific Golduck and check the game frequently. Because Golduck does require you to like log in to hit the button.
It bank? It's a skills Pokemon, right? Or no? Is it a
It is skill. So it'll bank 2, but
it'll bank 2, but
you want to hit it as much as possible. Whereas like Dedenne is holding to meal. But the thing is, like, why I think Dedenne is better than Golduck is because in order for Golduck to be good, it has to be rank 7.
Yeah. And that type of Pokemon, I feel like any Pokemon that has the charge strength ability, right? It's only good for the first couple of days, because once you get into like Ultra and Master, the return on the charge strengths are not as impactful as early on in the week. Now with Golduck, I think it does a range, right? So you have a little bit more RNG based on actually how much energy gets given to Snorlax when it procs. For me, I have an Espeon. An Espeon is charge strength medium, which is always a guaranteed amount of power when it gets procced to Snorlax. So I think to that point is that I don't use Golduck because it's just too much RNG, and I don't like it could be between X and Y. You don't know what exactly power you're going to get if this procs. Whereas with Espeon, I know exactly how much I'm getting, and sometimes it's doubled.
Yeah, that's my like deal with. I have like Quaxwell right now, and then because I'm holding off because for Water Week or for Suicune Week, I have a Quaxwell, and then I have a Haunter right now, and it's like Haunter's always proccing, but it's less because it's just a range, right? Where Quaxwell, I know exactly what I'm going to get every time because it's that like exact amount instead of having that range.
Yeah, Pseudo Widow is like also an exact amount.
It is, and and just to let folks know, never be afraid to swap team members out in the middle of a week. Like once the first couple of days go by, I take out my Espeon. I'm like, okay, you've done your work. The first get me from Pokeball tier to Ultra. You did the most work. I'm gonna take you out, and I might put in another cooking power up mon, or I might do another extra tasty mon or another berry mon. So never be afraid to like swap out throughout the week, like one slot and put someone in, because I think for that Pokemon, that type of charge power, it's really only good for the first couple of days. Then you just take it out and reset it.
I think the thing too is you always hear about Golduck, and it's like it has to be rank 7, which is like a lot of gold skill seeds, right? And I think like, what if you just applied those gold skill seeds to Dedenne? Like my Dedenne is just 1. It has no gold skill seeds. It's getting 4, then 8, then 12, then 16. But if you had like even gold skill strength 3 Dedenne, that's what, like 6, 12, 18. Like you're getting a 4th meal with Dedenne like you are with Golduck. But for me, Dedenne is also increasing my meal powers and making my meals stronger, right? If I'm critting meals more often, I am then getting stronger meals. And I'm like not a player that has like 60, 60, 60 for my meal power. But like when I go from 51 to 52 or 52 to 53, it's like I'm going there because I've crit that meal so many times, and it's just jumping, and now that meal is getting stronger and stronger. So I could see like the argument of like, well, all my meals are 60, so I can't increase them anymore. But like, I don't know, the game's been out for a year and none of my meals are 60 because they just raised the cap from 55 to 60. So I don't know, I feel like to me Dedenne is that 4th meal plus making all my meals stronger on top of that, unless you have the worst RNG and you're just like not critting.
And that happens. Everybody was critting this week in the Slack. Everybody's like, I'm getting crits left and right. And I was like, I've got like 60% right now on my cram and I'm not hitting crits. What's going on?
I feel like I'm getting always 1 crit a day with Dedenne and when I'm running Dedenne.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we have some Pokemon Masters news, and then we have the hot air stuff that we need to talk about. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. Celebrate Pokemon Masters EX 5-year anniversary. Cynthia, Steven, and Lance return with their iconic partner Pokemon, and then a bunch of events. So this is what they decided to do was champion Steven with Metagross, Cynthia with Garchomp, Lance with Dragonite. Steven and Cynthia can Mega Evolve. Dragonite does not have a Mega evolution at all. They're called Arc Suit. So that is the event. There is a 10-pair Scout ticket and login bonuses from now until September 21st. Each day you log in for 10 days, you will receive 10 pair Scout tickets, which will let you pull up to 100 sync pairs at no cost. And then if you like gems, you can also get 3,000 gems to celebrate the beginning of the Arceus arc and the debut of the Arc Suit sync pairs anytime from August 27th through October 1st. So free 3,000 gems, free 100 sync pairs just by logging in. That's pretty good if you play Masters casually or if you've taken a break from Masters. I think they're obviously leading up to probably what Volo and Arceus or whoever they decide to put Arceus with.
Volo, would they do Volo and Arceus? Because wouldn't they do Volo and Giratina?
We've established in the last 5 years that sometimes they don't really.
I feel like it should be like Arceus with Volo, like other way around. I feel like Arceus with Arceus or something. Like, I feel like Arceus should be its own thing.
I want to see Arceus in a suit. That would be pretty sweet.
Yes. No actual human, just Arceus. Yeah. Did I say Arceus and Arceus, or did I say Volo and Arceus?
You said Arceus and Arceus.
That's how it should be. No, I stand by this. There's also a anniversary 2024 Lily and Solgaleo. That is also available. And she goes away on October 1st as well. And that's the whole event. I don't know how good these are. I don't think a lot of people polling care about how good they are. Well, the hardcore people, but like I think people just like Cynthia a lot, or just like Steven Stone a lot, or just like Lance, and they're going to pull on the thing that they like.
Mm-hmm. Is there a big Pokemon Masters community, or is it like small but a lot of whales?
There is a pretty active subreddit for Pokemon Masters, but when it comes down to like, I don't know how it is in Japan, or I don't think like there's a lot of Pokemon Master stuff specifically on Twitter. There are like in our Slack or in our Discord, there is like Masters channels, and people are always sharing their polls or what they're excited for, or what they're saving up for. Mm-hmm. I think it's there. I don't think it's very big.
Right.
But I don't think Masters has ever been super big. Mm. Not that it needs to be super big, because I'm sure we talk about that it makes a good amount of money. But right. Even like content creator wise, like there's not a lot of people making Masters YouTube videos or TikToks or anything like that. And then the people who do, they don't get like a lot of views. Not compared to like Honkai or Genshin, or what is that boy band one? It's like number 2 in the world right now. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it doesn't come close to the audiences of those other guys. But I think those games have more fan service than Pokemon games do. I mean, they showed Cynthia's armpits. That's a lot of fan service for a Pokemon game.
I mean, I will say for this game going 5 years strong now, and I always see them putting out events like this and trying to satisfy the fan base. Like, here's the characters you want, but now they have different outfits. And the one thing I always enjoyed about the game was just like the subtle, just voice acting in it. Just it gives it some personality. You get to hear some characters and their voices differ from the anime, and then these are things I wish we had in the main titles on the Nintendo Switch. But I always appreciate that fact. But I'm in the boat where if I see a character I like and they have a awesome looking suit, and if I pull it, great. I close the game out and I'll come back to it maybe in like 2 months. But I haven't really done I was into the battling part of it early on, but then I just fell off of it because I never gravitated toward it. I didn't really find it enjoyable. I just found more of the collecting part of the characters more enjoyable than the actual gameplay itself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bobby, you re-downloaded?
I'm going to right now. I'm going to re-download it. I feel like every once in a while I end up re-downloading this game. Like it's always at a time like this where there's a bunch of pulls you can get or a bunch of gems, some kind of event. I usually do play it for a little bit and then it ends up off my phone again at some point. So we'll see if it sticks this time. Maybe this will be the time when it sticks. You never know. You never know.
I'm waiting for Pokemon Masters GX, actually.
It's the Yu-Gi-Oh crossover.
Yeah. I do wonder, because they did make, remember after the first year, they were like, we're going from Pokemon Masters to Pokemon Masters EX.
Yes,
and then there was like a weird hashtag that they used for about 2 days and then they stopped using.
Yep.
Which is very funny at the same time. But I do wonder if there's ever a point, even you could look at a game like Cafe Remix, right? It was Cafe Mix, and then they changed it to Remix. Like, does Masters, go... If Masters is going to be around for another 5 years, do they need, like, a big update? I don't know if they really needed one after a year, but they felt the need to.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision.
But I do wonder, because I'm sure according to the numbers, it's doing fine money wise, but these companies, they like even more money. They like more people playing their games and giving them money. So
yep,
I don't know. But DNA is also working on Pocket, so they were clearly happy enough with DNA the last couple of years to be like, here's another game. So that's good for DNA at least.
Well, I'm waiting for Pocket EX, which will be
2025
game.
I'm not even gonna play Pocket until the EX version comes out.
I love the long game from Bobby here.
Yeah.
This is good.
Let's just I don't know how long this TCG / Legends Z-A news is going to be, so let's just knock out the Pokemon Go stuff out of the way here, get all our mobile games out of the way. There is a new Pokecoin bounty. Did we talk about this last week, Bobby? I don't think we did.
It wasn't. It just got announced.
Okay.
The other day, 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Got it. So starting on September 1st, trainers can purchase a daily Pokecoin bounty Part 1 ticket for the latest season of Pokemon Go maxed out. This ticket will help trainers max out their words, not mine, their adventures by the daily bonus field research that awards 20 coins. And that will technically start on Tuesday. So you can buy the ticket now. And I believe when you buy the ticket, you get 200 coins right away. And then you get 20 coins for every daily field research you do, which it used to be 25 when they did this, but I don't remember if you got the 200 coins off the bat.
I bought the thing too, and I don't remember. I don't think you did. I don't think you did. You didn't. You just got the 25 every day, as long as you had a slot available for that research task.
Yes. So the instant complaint I saw was it used to be 25, now it's 20. Niantic really needs that 5 cents a day.
But it was 25, but only for like 2 weeks.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't a whole month. It definitely wasn't a whole month. It was like half. It was half of a month.
Oh, they didn't. They have not done this for a whole month. They did that
No.
for the 2-week period. I remember.
Yeah, it was just one time. It was like $2, and you got 25 coins a day, I believe, if that's what people were talking about. And you got 25 coins a day. But maybe they're talking about something else, because now that I think about it, I thought that was 20 coins a day. It was like that. It was like a couple months ago. It was just like a 2-week event, and you got a few coins a day as long as you had the research task. Like as long as you didn't have a full stack of research tasks.
I've done the math. If it was 25 coins a day for 30 days, that would be 750 coins.
It wasn't that many for sure. It wasn't that it wasn't 750.
And if you're getting 20 coins a day for 30 days, that's 600 coins, but you're getting the 200 at the start of the month. So you're getting 800 coins instead of 750 coins. So if we're getting technical about it, this is a better deal by 50 cents.
Sounds like it.
Thank you, Niantic. We appreciate the extra 50 cents. Trainers can purchase the gift ticket and give it to somebody. You can also go to store.pokemongo.com or whatever, and you can purchase 3 months like all 3 months for the max out, because it's $5 a month every month, and these seasons last 3 months. So it's $15 for how many coins is that going to be? 800 times 3 is 2,400 coins. But then on the website, you get a bonus 100 coins. You get a bonus $1 for not paying the Apple tax.
Well, you get a bonus $1. However, you are paying 2 more cents, just so you know, if you don't buy each ticket, because each ticket each month would be $14.97. If you buy it off the web store, it's $14.99. So you have to take it. If we're going to split this the way that people are doing it, you are paying an extra 2 cents if you buy it on the web store.
But curse then, you, Niantic!
You do get the bonus 100 coins on the web store too. So
you do get, okay, so just the coin thing aside, there are more bonuses to this. So this ticket will get you 3 times the XP for your first catch of the day, 3 times the XP for your first spin of the day. 50, you can open up to from 20 to 50 gifts per day. You can also hold 40 gifts per bag instead of 20. And you can get 100 gifts per day from Pokestops and gyms instead of 150 instead of 100. And there's a bounty if you complete. Okay, so maybe you don't get the 200 coins right away. You have to do the bounty. Complete the timed research to get your 200 bonus coins, your 1,500 XP, and your 1,500 Stardust.
Isn't it 15,000?
Sorry, yeah, 15,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
15,000 XP, 15,000 Stardust. I wish it was 15,000 coins. That would be great. that would really
$100 worth.
You would really be moving tickets at that point.
Love it.
So, full disclosure, I was in a meeting with Niantic when they talked about a lot of this max out stuff. I don't remember what has been released or what hasn't been released. That's why I'm only going off the website so I don't get in trouble. I asked them specifically during this meeting, is this a subscription? Because they didn't give all of these details at the time. And they said, no, it's not. Because we're really close to a subscription here. And it's not. So I don't know why this isn't a subscription. But like, I don't know. Pokemon Masters has a subscription. Pokemon Unite has a subscription. Pokemon Sleep has a subscription. Why does this game refuse to do subscriptions?
Are they afraid of money and commitment? I mean, I feel like they are close to it. Yeah, this definitely has that sprinkling of, let's test this out. Let's see how many people are actually going to buy into something like this. And I would not be surprised if maybe sometime early next year they look at the data and like, okay, let's roll something out on a per monthly basis. Because as you know, I am paying per month for Pokemon Sleep. I think there's good value behind it. I get my free good camp ticket. But just think, I mean, I'm curious if people would pay a monthly subscription for Pokemon Go if it does mean, you get the boosted, gift openings, you get some extra coins, you get some extra XP, and it's consistent throughout all the events that even come on top of that. I think people would definitely jump on the opportunity to do a per month subscription on something like this, and I think they should do it sooner than later because it's been around for a bit.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I think this is, like you said, this is so close to like literally there could just be an auto renew button and that's it. It's a subscription now, right? That is what this is. You just have to click it every month or go to the web store and you get it every 3 months, But I think, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with this. Like the only thing I don't like about this, and I didn't like it back in that May event as well. So I just looked it up and there was a May event. It was 2 weeks long. You got 20 coins per day. So the people talking about 25 coins, they must be talking about something else because
yes,
the 2 week event,
that was the Australia thing they tested
that was
that
was the Australia thing with the 25 coins. The 2 week event back in May, it was 20 coins a day. Same thing. Anyways,
but that was like 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
It was only 2 weeks. It was May 16th through the 30th. You got 300 coins if you, got your coins every day. That's the only thing I don't like about this is that it's not guaranteed coins
because you have to play.
One, there's a timed research, so like the 200 coins you're talking about is a timed research, so that's if you don't finish it in time you don't get 200 coins. Who knows how easy that is, but that's like beside the point here. The second thing is you do have to log in every day, or you do have to get that research task every day, because if you already have your research tasks filled, so if you have 3 plus your bonus already sitting in your list, you don't get the 20 coin research task for that day.
But
so you miss out on those coins.
Is this fixed where, let's say you have your 3? Does
yes.
this prioritize that bonus over
I tried it. I believe I remember it does. So like if you have 3, instead of your bonus being some random like 5 pineapples for something, it's the 20 coin task that you get. But if you have like yesterday's bonus and then 3 tasks, so you have 4 sitting in your list already, you don't get the next day's coins task. So you miss out on 20
let's say I have the 20 coin from Wednesday and then I delete one above it. Do I get the 20 coin from Wednesday, and then when Thursday rolls over, I get the 20 coin from Thursday?
You have to test that one for science, Steve. I don't know. I didn't go as far as to do that when I had the research.
If they want, see, when I think of like Pokemon Go subscription and what they're going to charge, I do feel like they could get away with like $10 a month. Pokemon Sleep gets away with $10 a month. I think Unite is also $10 a month. And I do think like the gift thing is like an easy given to a subscription player. And personally, I like it. I love having 40 gifts because when I travel, I try to stock up on really cool gifts. Like when I was in Japan, I was like, I want the like the Poke lid. I want this cool Lapras Poke lid. I want as many as I can while I'm like sitting here eating lunch, and I'm like deleting gifts and spinning to get as many. But then I can't hold other gifts as well. So like you go somewhere else and you're like, this is a cool Pokestop, but I'm like, I have like 10 Lapras and then I have these other ones and I want to like send them to people. And that's hard when you're traveling because you're like, you don't want to sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to send a bunch of, because it is time consuming, right?
Well, that's your problem is you're traveling. You live like me, Steve, and you stay home and then you just have boring gifts to give to people.
So I think the holding more gifts, opening more gifts, collecting more gifts, I think would be built into a subscription. I think the 3 times your first catch, the 3 times your spin, yeah, sure, that makes sense. That doesn't change anything. The 20 coins, you are spending $5 to ultimately get $8 back if you do play every day. So again, I think that's great for what should be a subscription. I think the only thing I might add would be, and I've been saying this for 8 years, so it'll never happen, but I think while you're in quote unquote subscription mode, you should get another permanent incubator. So you have 2 instead of 1. And then when your subscription's canceled, you go back to 1.
Yeah.
I think that, and it not like a super incubator, just like a regular incubator. I think that would like solidify easy a $10 subscription for a lot of players. Do I think they should do more? Yes, 100%. But I think the bare minimum should be what is here plus another permanent incubator. I don't know what else they would.
A permanent
but-
incubator could potentially be worth a lot of money. I mean, money as far as what it costs to, right? Because it's 150 coins for, if you just think 150 coins for an incubator. And if you're sitting there hatching 2K eggs for the month with that incubator, I mean, that's potentially a lot of.
But
You know.
but they're doing what they want you to do, which is like you have to leave the house.
No. I think it would
Yeah.
be great. I think it would be. No, I'm saying I think that would be awesome if they did something like that because, yeah, that would be wonderful. To your point, that they probably will never do it because we're sitting here saying how great of an idea this is. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah. I think it's a good start, and maybe this is but I feel like they did that like 3-month subscription earlier in the year, and then they didn't do anything for the next season, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah,
And
but they were testing. They were absolutely testing things out.
They're always testing. Where's the commitment, Bobby?
Get a few years of tests in, and then maybe we'll end up with a not as good subscription at some point in time.
And I will say, I used my own money. I spent the $15 here off the web store because I wanted to. Honestly, it was the gift thing that pushed me over the edge. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get my money back with coins, but like, I do want to hold more gifts and be able to send more gifts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so
if you play the game every day, or if you ever even think about buying coins, it just makes sense to do this because you're literally getting, like we said, you're getting what, $8 or $9 worth of coins off of a $5 ticket. So if you play daily, if you buy coins at all, I mean, it works out. Plus you get all the extra stuff you're talking about, gifts and some XP and things like that. So
yeah,
I think it works out.
I think it's not bad. It's not bad, Niantic. It could be better, but it's not bad.
No, I think it's good. Just the fact that you're getting your money back, I'm gonna buy $5 worth of coins at some point in the month. Like, it's just gonna happen. Everybody knows me well enough to know it's gonna happen. Like, I could tell myself it's not, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
I might as well just put it into this ticket, get more than $5 worth of coins, and then get some bonuses.
Yeah.
I think it works nicely.
It always happens when I do remote raids. It's like, oh, you listen, you need. I'm like, well, you got me there. Here's my money.
Yep. And then it's like, well, I just need one ticket, but like, I really should just get the 3 remote raid passes because why would I just buy one?
Exactly.
So then it's there's $5 of coins right there. Like,
easy. Speaking of $5, there is going to be a Phalanx raid day Sunday, September 8th from 2 to 5. Oh, maybe we have to move the podcast up next week. I don't know if I want to do this. For $5, though, you can purchase a ticket that grants the following bonuses: 8 additional raid passes for a total of 14. You do get 8 for free. Sorry, you get 5 free raid passes plus your daily raid pass. So you will jump up to 14, they're saying, raid passes. You will get increased chance of Rare Candy XL, 50% more XP, and twice the Stardust from raid battles.
This is the ticket on top of an event that already is free.
Yes. Right? So the free event is Phalanx will appear in raids. You'll get 5 additional free raid passes, increased chance of shiny Phalanx. I think people normally say these are about 1 in 10 chance. If it's similar to like Cleavor or anything like that. And then remote raid pass increase will be increased to 20 from Saturday, September 7th to Sunday, September 8th. So if you really like to spend money, Niantic has your back.
This is where I always screw up because people start sending me invites the day before.
Not me.
Get invites
Not
from people.
Me. You're never tricking me into a remote raid.
It's people from Japan start sending them to me on when it's Saturday my time because it's Sunday their time, and then people in Europe start sending them to me when it's the middle of Sunday night and I'm awake and I'm like, well, I might as well get that shiny Phalanx now, and then I get the shiny Phalanx. And then 2:00 hits, and I'm like, I have all these free passes that I have no point in using now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phalanx should be pretty easy as like you and your friend, you and your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to go around town and just be able to duo or even
you could solo it. So we were looking this up earlier this week. apparently Phalanx was supposed to be in raids back in like 2021 or 2022, whenever Phalanx like debuted, but there was some kind of visual glitch.
Oh
that
yeah, it would
kept
like
it
go.
from
It would like
being-
stick straight up.
Okay.
I remember.
There you go. We couldn't remember what, but like that we were just, I was looking at some stuff in the past, and so the guides I did look at said it was supposed to be soloable, but that it didn't happen because they ended up just taking it out of the raids and then just having it be research tasks or something. So it should be a soloable a raid if you really want to go for it that way.
Well, if you're free next Sunday and you like Phalanx and you like shiny Pokemon, go get your free raid passes.
It's a good shiny. It is a good shiny.
It is.
It is.
All right. Then they announced go big with Dynamax Pokemon in Max Raid battles. So this is September 10th through September 15th. Dynamax debut of Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Squavit, Wooloo. Pokemon caught in Max encounters as well as their evolutions can be Dynamaxed during Max battles. They also say all these Pokemon can be shiny. Bobby was like, I bet they're going to turn Squavit and Wooloo shiny. That's exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So those will be new shinies.
Patterns.
Another part of the event is trainers can complete tasks focused on Max Raid battles to earn Max Particles, a new avatar item, and more. You can claim this research at no cost starting on Tuesday, September 3rd through December 8th. It looks like if you finish it, you will get like the Dynamax bracelet for free. And then the event bonus itself will be 2 times XP from winning Max battles, 2 times XP from spinning Pokestops. There will be field research with all the Pokemon I just listed. There will be new showcases, and there will also be a web store pack of Max Particle things, which will be $7.99 or your equivalent in your tiers currency starting on September 8th. The Max Particle Pack Bundle will feature 6 Max Particle packs for a total of 4,800 Max Particles for your Dynamax needs.
Yeah. I think we missed the part of the important thing here, which is the fact that Galar is coming to Pokemon
Yeah,
Go.
it's about time.
Well, we talked about Galar last week.
But the event hadn't. But the event got announced like Tuesday of last week, like Galar starters and everything, and Dreepy and all that coming to Go.
Yes, so it'll be Grookey, Scorbunny, Sobble, Dreepy are all coming to Pokemon Go for the first time. All of those will be in the wild except for Dreepy. Oh, no, it says Dreepy will be in the wild, actually. It says some trainers might encounter Dreepy as the rare one. Squavit and Wooloo will be shiny. They're putting them in eggs. There's going to be a new collection challenge.
It's exciting.
But Max Raids are not coming when these new Pokemon are coming.
Right.
They're coming after, obviously. But you can start getting Max Particle Power as soon as whatever that bundle is available. What did I say?
September 3rd.
September 3rd. So,
yeah. Yep. I'm just excited to have the Galar starters finally in the game. Like it's been too long. They're finally here. They're finally coming. Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, this is exactly what I wanted in Pokemon Go. Because I really enjoy this region and this generation, so it's going to be nice to have it here. And I think Pokemon Go may get some of my money now for this event, so might got check it out. I love how it says 10 kilometer eggs, Dreepy, and more. Like it doesn't give anything.
I'm excited for Goomy, Dino, Bagon,
and more.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Speaking of and more, just a quick tip. So Rockruff is one of the Pokemon that's usually in 10 kilometer eggs.
Yeah.
And I know people love Rockruff. They love shiny Rockruff. I'll give you this tip here. The best way to try to get shiny Rockruff is to use the Duskmane or Dawnwings adventure effect. Because Rockruff is like a 1 in 75 chance shiny. And hatching eggs rating, that's a lot, right? But with the Duskmane and the Dawnwings adventure effect, it's an incense, right? And it spawns a Pokemon once a minute, regardless of whether you're moving or not. So, and Rockruff is one of like the 7 Pokemon that spawn from that incense. I've gotten 3 shiny Rockruff from
That's crazy.
from those adventure effects, because again, they're like 1 in 75. So if you have the candy Stardust and you want shiny Rockruff, that's the way to go for it versus hatching eggs or raiding for Rockruff.
I did see people complain that the Niantic is selling max particles or whatever. Obviously, you'll be able to get these free by just playing the game, just like you can get Pokeballs free or Rocket Radar for free. I get it. They're a company trying to make money, but like, this isn't new. I don't know why people are pretending this isn't new. They've been selling Rocket Radars for $2 since the debut of Team Rocket. How many have I bought since the debut of Team Rocket? 0.
Yeah.
It's been 8 years and I have never given them money for Pokeballs. I get it. I live in a big city. It's very easy for me to get Pokeballs, but like, the easiest thing with this kind of stuff is just don't buy it. It's fine. It exists for people who value time over money, and I think that's valid. There's so many Final Fantasy 14 players or World of Warcraft players that will just buy a $20 level skip because they just don't have time to level up, and that's fine because it doesn't affect me. I just don't buy it.
Yep.
So like, there will be ways to get max particles that is not $7.99. You don't have to freak out. It's fine. Just like Team Rocket stuff, you just skip it. Same with Poffins. I don't think I've ever purchased a Poffin that wasn't like included in a bundle for free.
Ooh.
I don't think I've ever bought a Poffin.
I bought many Poffins when I was really trying to get that 10 best buddies done. I finally got my shiny Jirachi early this week and shiny Shaman. I finally, 554 days after the research came out, I finally got my shiny Jirachi. I'm never getting another best buddy again.
You don't like? I love the buddy stuff.
I don't at all. I don't.
I
I'm constantly switching my buddies. Well, I was back when Go Snapshot wasn't as good, and it's like the buddy stuff was better for pictures. So I was constantly switching my buddies out.
I see.
And then not, feeding them.
I just quick treat Golden Raz, and by the time I'm done, it's, I'm getting 10, 12 hearts a day.
Yeah, I know. I know I should have been better. I should be nicer to my Pokemon. But
how dare you not use the Tamagotchi feature that Niantic cares about?
Well, I bought Poffins because I was stuck between that level 41 and level 42 limbo of getting the evolutions. So I needed to like get my Sylveon up really quickly before Go Fest. Before Go Fest. So I was like, yeah, buy some Poffins and just shove it in that mouth. Like, eat it. Love me. And then I got to level 42, so it was all good.
Even with the terrible 44 to 45 Team Rocket thing, I was like, I'm not giving you a penny, Niantic. I'm gonna grind this out and then never do Team Rocket again once I'm done.
Oh, actually, speaking of getting the shiny, I think tonight I actually might get my shiny Mew after all this time.
Shiny Mew?
I've slacked so much. I have slacked so much in this game. So if you're listening to this, I probably already posted I got my shiny Mew. So I'm waiting to get a few more field research tasks done, and then I should be good to go.
That's a 2021. That's a 2021 release.
Hey, it's a throwback.
Wow.
All right, let's take a break, and then we'll do our last ZA segment. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. Final bit of news was actually this news broke today. Perfect timing, because normally we record at like 11 in the morning, but this broke at like 1 p.m. We're recording a little later today. But Black Bolt and White Flare and Hot Air Arena trademarks are filed for the Pokemon TCG, which, according to PokeBeach, also I tend to agree here, this is evidence that ZA will be a later release.
I also tend to agree.
So I don't think this means that we're getting black and white remakes for the
No.
just...
no.
Oh, shattered. Oh no.
I think for sure we're probably getting ZA,
Mhm.
next year.
Mhm.
And that's kind of it. So this isn't like a leak or a rumor. These are trademarks you can actually look up. So again, the trademarks are specifically Black Bolt, comma, White Flare, comma, and then Hot Air Arena. Now these are Japanese trademarks. So just like Shrouded Fable is not called Shrouded Fable in Japan. I don't remember what set that was called in Japan, but if
Night
these
Wanderer,
Night
I
Wanderer, yeah.
believe.
When these TCG sets come to America, they will not be called that. So that, again, that's why I'm saying this does not confirm Black and White remakes. It's not like it's not like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Black Bolt, White Flare, because these names will be changed in the US.
But and they will probably be combined, right? So
Yes.
with Japanese sets, like you could see like Black Bolt and White Flare would be combined to make one set in English, even though it's, two sets in Japanese.
And that one set in English will have probably the ends Reshiram in it, which is the
And that one set in English will be Pokemon Black and White remakes. Just kidding.
So if we are so like, how does this have to do with ZA? Why does this mean ZA was later? It has to do what we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, is that Pokemon has this machine that they kind of have to follow because the anime has to follow it, the TCG has to follow it. And while not everything comes out like right away, like for example, the Paldea anime didn't start until like February or spring, instead of like November. There's still a system they have to follow. Yep. TCG sets in Japan come out every month. TCG sets in America come out every 3 months. That's why they combine those sets. So for the upcoming TCG schedule for Japan, we have on September 13th is Paradise Dragonia, featuring Dragon Pokemon. This makes sense because this is the year of Dragon, and Pokemon Center US has been doing their Dragon pins and everything. This is, Bobby, this is the Executor set, right? The Alolan Executor that we will be getting.
Yep, Alolan Executor, Latios. Yeah.
And then October 18th in Japan will be Supercharged Breaker, which is the Terrastalized Pikachu EX, which is our Stellar Crown?
No, so Stellar Crown comes out in a week or 2 weeks. So Paradise Dragona and Supercharged Breaker together will make up Surging Sparks. So okay. Surging Sparks will be our English November release, which will have the Terra Pikachu, Latios, Alolan Executor, all of that. That'll all come together for English.
And then November 22nd in Japan, there's going to be 9 decks called EX Starter Generation, featuring 18 Pokemon EX. Each deck will feature a legendary Pokemon from each of the 9 generations paired with a Pokemon from that generation. We probably won't see this in the US. Just a heads up there.
They'll make some of the cards part of another set in English, probably. Yeah.
December 6th in Japan will be the Terrastal. I don't know. Why can't I say Terra? The Terra Festival that will feature Eevee and its evolutions as Pokemon EX. This is Japan's annual high class pack set.
Yes. So,
which, Bobby, tell us.
This will be like, so this is kind of setting the stage here for probably the last set with regards to Scarlet and Violet, right? So back in 2022, they had like V-Star Universe in Japan, and that kind of kicked off like the V-Star stuff. And past years they've had that where it's at the very end of the year. It's kind of like the end of that. Could be the end of that way of playing, or like a new way of playing kind of. So Terrastal Festival is that probably for Scarlet and Violet. Plus it's an Eevee set, so that's going to be incredibly popular. So I would see that being its own set in English probably shortly
like
after.
4th year in a row they've just done an Eevee set.
It feels like it. Yeah. Well, they're the money makers. Like, people love the evolutions. I remember I still like when Umbreon cards was still expensive, like the English ones even. It's like it's just they will eat those up easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Umbreon cards are still expensive. That's
They're still-
still
they are,
the
okay.
most expensive
Yeah, no,
Sword and Shield card is Umbreon.
Umbreon is always expensive, almost always. And like
Mhm.
just like Charizard is almost always
Mhm.
expensive.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is about. I feel like those like that circle of Charizard lovers and Umbreon lovers is almost a complete circle. Like that Venn diagram of those two. I feel like it's so close. January 24th will be Battle Partners, which is featuring the return of Owner's Pokemon mechanic. This is what we saw at Worlds. This was like Lily's Clefairy, Marnie's Grimmsnarl, Arceus's Arceus. Like that will be the
Best do that.
It's the callback. I love it.
If you've made it this far in the YouTube video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit that like button. Comment down below when you think Legends Z-A is coming out. Anyways, February 21st will be 2 decks named Starter Set EX Stevens Beldum and Metagross EX, and then Starter Set EX Marnie's Mopeko and Marnie and Grimmsnarl EX. So they did not show this in the trailer at Worlds, but we're obviously getting a Stevens Metagross and a Stevens Beldum, and we're definitely getting... We saw Marnie's Grimmsnarl. Obviously, it was safe to assume she was getting Morpeko, but this is confirming that she is getting a Morpeko. And then March is supposed to be... This is where it starts getting a little blurry because we don't have dates. So we're good up to February 21st. Then somewhere in March, we should get the Glory of Team Rocket, which will feature Rocket's Mewtwo. In April, that should be Black Bolt and White Flare. And then, according to PokeBeach, May is the month they've been skipping. They skipped May in 2024. They skipped May in 2023. So they will possibly skip here. And then they're saying June will be Hot Air Arena. So if we're following this, according to TCG cards and just TCG cards, Legends would be maybe June or afterwards.
Yeah. If June, it's possible that June could, like, it's possible May, because it's possible June could have to do with Legends ZA. Now it's like good chance that Black Bolt and White Flare don't. That most likely probably has to do with Unova in some way. Ends, Reshiram, and Zekrom, whatever they want to do there, but it probably has to do with Unova in some way. Hot
But keep
Air
in mind,
Arena,
sorry to interrupt you. Keep in mind that if you don't follow TCG, they will pick just random themes and go, not like completely random, but like, remember in Sword and Shield era where they did do a lot of like Gen 4 characters just in a set, or like a lot of Gen 3 characters in a set. So this is like not uncommon for them to be like, we're just going to do a couple Gen 5 characters in a set.
Right. And I think the other thing to point out here is that if they're doing this at some point when Legends ZA is supposed to come out in 2025, like they're probably not, like, just to solidify that, like, they're probably not doing black and white remakes in between Legends ZA supposed to come out in 2025. So in the like few months in between that, like in the month or two in between that, they're probably not doing that. And I hate that I just said that, because they actually did do that with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and then had Legends Arceus come out 2 months later. But
yeah,
they're probably not doing that. I really do think that we could see like a June or July release, because again, Hot Air Arena doesn't really tell us anything other than the thought could be like it's maybe related to like fire flying Pokemon, which obviously the
can
Charizard
I make
is
a
part of that,
speculation?
so.
I think
What?
Hot Air Arena is anime focused. I think that's the airship that the Rising Volt Tacklers take, and they're going to do Freed's Charizard as a partner Pokemon.
That would make a lot of sense.
Here's me thinking, oh, it's like a sky battle theme going on here. But now that you mention that, Steve, it does actually line up with even how
Like-
the anime is going as well.
Yeah, like how would you describe to somebody who hasn't watched the anime? Like, how do you describe a hot air arena? And it's like that is Freed's ship. It's a hot air arena.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that
I think so that's why I'm like, I don't like you could speculate the earliest we see ZA is June, but June seems like we're going to focus on the anime here.
yeah.
Which June would always also be a good time for maybe like a Stellar Rayquaza coming to Scarlet and Violet. Shiny black.
Again,
I don't.
Yeah.
Because a small spoiler for the anime, at least in Japan, they have not done the Stellar Rayquaza battle. They haven't even said that Rayquaza is stellar yet, but like it is. Like
You see it in the
you figure that out in like the first 3 episodes of the English anime of like, oh, this thing's for sure stellar. They're just not saying it's stellar.
Going back to the Legends ZA stuff. So, you know, I always love looking at trends for like video game release and stuff like that. Has Pokemon ever even released games like around like the summer season? I'm trying to think of anything that it's either like toward the end of the year or the start of the year. But I don't know if you ever had a more worldwide release for a game at that caliber in the summertime. Which I'm not saying that, you know, breaking tradition is not a bad thing. I would love to see something like that happen, but I don't know if that just ties into other releases and what that may mean for ZA.
We've definitely, well, I mean, like Red and Blue in the US got released in September. Crystal got released in September, I think, as well. Or not September, maybe it was August. I feel like we just celebrated Crystal's anniversary or something like that.
We did. Yeah.
Black and White was released in May for the US.
Mm.
Or was it April?
Don't
It was
say
either
these things. Don't.
it was
Black and White. We can't. I'm getting too far in on the black and white stuff.
No, the black bolt white flare is super easy to break down. White flare is going to be the full art and with Reshiram. Black bolt is going to be the full art Zekrom and Reshiram. That's all it is. That's all, and they're going to merge it together in one set for us. That's all it is.
I hope so.
Like I
just scared myself with like the fact that Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl did come out 3 months before Legends Arceus. That's all.
Yeah, but that was like 2 companies working on it, right?
Yeah.
Like you could say that Ilka is working on Black and White, but when you say that, then your head goes to
Isn't Ilka? Didn't they rename it?
Is it no Ilka is still called Ilka, right?
Which one's the one that got renamed to like their collaboration and it's like Pokemon Studios?
Oh yes, that is the Ilka and
Ilka?
Pokemon have like I don't remember what that was called, but yes, they have an official studio together. But I think that's more like Pokemon Home stuff than anything.
It is probably.
I think Ilka's in the long haul for that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I think like N being the featured Pokemon / trainer / card for that set makes the most, like everyone lost their mind when N showed up because people like N.
Do you think though that it's just, and it's very possible, but it would be weird to me that they showed a card off so far in advance of when it's coming out. Like I assume that N's Reshiram and all of that was going to be a part of whatever this new like battle partner set is in January. Like for them to show that card off and the set doesn't come out till like April or May, because they showed the English version.
It was a full English version of the card.
Yeah.
Of the card. And I'm looking at it right now. I do see that they don't have the little like, obviously they don't have the little code, like the little abbreviation at the bottom or anything, or a set number or anything like that. It's just the card, but it's like the full English version of the card.
And a 2025 copyright, which makes sense.
Which
like
could be
it's next year.
Next year.
Do I want to remind you they showed a game in February that we haven't heard from.
That's true.
We don't have hard dates for March, April, May, June, right? It's possible that Black Bolt White Flare comes before the Glory of Team Rocket. I don't know why Pokebeach is listing Glory of Team Rocket before.
Just because that trademark had been out prior.
Oh, the trademark existed beforehand.
The trademark for this, for Glory of Team Rocket existed a few months ago.
Because I would assume that it would be Black Bolt, White Flare because of N before Team Rocket, because in the English trailer, the Team Rocket was slightly hinted at the very, very end. They just like flashed the Rocket logo.
Right. Well, that's why I would think it's the one that follows the trainer. Like, right. It'd be trainer, battle partners, and then the Rocket set would be next. It's like leading into the next set after battle partners.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like the Rocket one would be first before.
And that's what I was trying to say, not last week, but maybe the week before, is I don't think N, Marnie, Ethan, I can't remember who else they showed. Like, I can't imagine those are all just like the trainers. Like, they have to have a bunch they didn't show, like Misty, Erica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Freed. I think Freed will be a like Freed and Charizard. Like, no way they don't do Freed and Charizard, or Liko and Miascarada. I don't know if she, no spoilers. I don't know if she has Miascarada. I'm just thinking Final Evolution, but Roy Fuecoco, right? Like, I think they will do something like that.
I am interested in like how this will break down into English sets, because I will say like Terrestrial Festival, I'm gonna guess in December will end up being its own set in English as well. It's kind of like V-Star Universe became Crown Zenith in English.
What was the one before that? Like Champions Path, I think, was also a special set.
Yeah, Champions Path was a special set. But yeah, Crown Zenith was like the end of Sword and Shield. So that was literally the last set of Sword and Shield, and it had all the trainer gallery cards and all that, or the Galarian gallery cards. That was V-Star Universe, I believe. So this Terrestrial Festival, I would guess that's going to be like its own English set. That's a special set. Then in January, though, I'm wondering how they break that down. Battle Partners and Glory of Team Rocket, does that actually become like one set in English? Because we're talking Japanese sets here. And, there's smaller sets in Japanese. So it's like, I don't think they're going to do like 3 sets on their own in a row in English. So the question becomes like, where do these sets start to combine? Like, is it Glory of Team Rocket and Black Bolt and White Flare all actually one set in English?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Is it Battle Partners and Glory of Team Rocket is actually one set in English? Like, we don't know where that combination happens. And if they're coming out with Terrestrial Festival in December in Japan, that typically means probably about a late January release in English, and then about a March release for the next set in English. So I could see Battle Partners and Glory of Team Rocket almost being like one set together in English. That I could see them actually putting it together.
They could also not skip May this year.
That too.
And have another set.
Yeah.
But definitely none of these sets are ZA.
Definitely not. Nope, they are all definitely. I think none of them are Scarlet and Violet either, right? I think they're ending that with Terrestrial Festival.
Yeah, I think
now
you're right
we're
on that,
just getting special or like different types of sets that are calling back to older generations, trainers and Team Rocket, and then down the line we're gonna get Legends Z-A in maybe July, August, September time frame. Who knows?
Yeah. The real question I have is for TCG players is, are they going to re-release N as a card, just N as a supporter card, which was
huge, right?
It was like 4 in every deck. It was shuffle your hand, you and your opponent shuffle your hands into your deck and draw to how many prize cards you have. Yeah. So if they have 1 prize left and you have 6 and you're losing, that was literally a comeback card because you're drawing 6 now and they're drawing 1. It was so good.
Oh yeah.
And the thing with the TCG is they eventually redo all the cards again. Like everything comes full circle in the TCG.
Yeah.
Like they got rid of Ultra Ball for 6 months, and they were like, Ultra Ball's back.
Yeah.
Like Great Ball has been the same since however long I've ever remembered it. And there's been sets where like, oh, Great Ball doesn't exist anymore. It'll come back. So I wonder, and that can be like another thing of why maybe these sets are Black Bolt, White Flares, because like not only is N featured because like Reshiram and Zekrom cards always do pretty well, but like N as a supporter card would come back, and that would be very valuable to players. Well, there might be some players that are like, I hate N, but
the PTSD comeback is now here. Oh, here we go.
Don't bring back Hypnotoxic Laser, please. That was Yeah, I don't think at all this is like Gen 5 confirmed or we should be seeing anything Gen 5. I think for
No,
sure
not
it
at
will be
all.
Legends next year and then Gen 10 the year after. And then
Yeah.
which I think is really good pacing. Like we've had so many game releases in the time of doing this podcast for 10 plus years where it just feels like I wish they took a little more time. I wish this game was a little more polished. I'm okay with waiting a couple extra months. And so if all we get next year is ZA, and then the year after we get Gen 10, and then the year after that we get Black and White, or Let's Go Octillery, Let's Go Remoraid, that's I'm like I'm okay.
I am totally okay with any type of delays because I know we felt that burnout between Scarlet and Violet and Legends, like just like that timeline in between. Like I mean, I felt it too. Like
it was BDSP Legends and
that's
Scarlet
right,
and
that's
Violet.
right. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like it
all
was
those together. So I do like the idea of yes, let's make 2025 really like Legends ZA, and then we know that what you said earlier, Steve, where Pokemon Company has these schedules. They want to make sure things are kind of like in sync with one another. We know they're not afraid of starting an anime too late in the process. So, who knows how much anime is left of the current Scarlet and Violet generation. It may end before, like, it may go into even Gen 10 in 2026, possibly. So those are things just to look out for when you look at the anime schedule, because that can give you some hints, possibly, maybe a couple of months here and there. But yeah, I'm totally fine if the only game we got next year is ZA, and then make it good, work on it really well, and then focus on Gen 10 strong for like 2026. I think that'll be a good timeline.
Yeah, and I think Scarlet and Violet has life in it, whether or not people want to accept that, or you've already written it off because you don't like the frame rate or whatever personal reason. Like that's totally, I understand. If you don't like Scarlet and Violet, I get it, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a bunch of Hisuian Pokemon to put in outbreaks, other outbreaks to do, other 7 stars to do. Like Regulation H started today, and people are so excited about Regulation H, and that's going to run for 3 months, and then Regulation EFGHI will happen afterwards, which will be its own set of rules. And then as we get closer to next year's Worlds, it will be Regulation whatever letter, which will be 2 restricted Pokemon, because this year's Worlds was 1 restricted Pokemon. So we're still on that predictable schedule, I guess.
Yeah.
But the following TCG sets, like Bobby argued 2 weeks ago, is correct. Like the TCG is probably closest to the games than anything.
Yeah.
Schedule wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not toys, not the anime, because the anime is kind of it's a little off, but like TCG is pretty spot on with games.
Yeah, almost always. I mean, like, even you have to you think about, like, because all the pushback that happened, I mean, when I say pushback, I mean like things getting pushed back, happening with like COVID or whatever it was. But you think about like when Legends Arceus came out, well, V-Star Universe, V-Star was in regards to Legends Arceus. That was like a thing that had to do with Legends Arceus, and that came out like a month before the game came out. And even like when a new set comes out for a new generation, right? So like you have Scarlet Violet came out, and then like 3 months later the Scarlet Violet base set came out. That happened with Sword and Shield as well. It's like 3 months later Sword and Shield base set come out. Like they're pretty spot on. And so it's like you'll kind of see, and it'll be interesting to see if the trademark set kind of gives away that it's like a Legends ZA thing. I don't know how they would do that if it becomes very Kalos like heavy in some way, or has stars some Pokemon that's in Kalos. But I feel like you'll kind of see it there if the trademark does give anything away. But based on everything we saw so far, I hate to say it because I was saying a month ago like it's going to be early 2025, but now looking at all this stuff, I don't think so. I think we're looking at like mid to late 2025.
Also, one thing I was thinking about too, looking back at Worlds this year when they announced like the next 2 years of like the Worlds being held, it has that same, like looking at like the graphics and the logos, it's the same theme. I know I may be reading too much into it, but I really do think the next 2 Worlds will still use Scarlet and Violet as like the main like VGC, backdrops or possibly. So I'm thinking, yes, in California, you wrap up the next 2 years with VGC using the Scarlet Violet. Maybe you have some Pokemon Legends Z-A compatibility, maybe some crossovers happening, and then later in 2025, that's when you start to go into the Gen 10 direction for some games. Again, I'm not trying to look too deep into it, but that's how I look at it as well, especially with everything else going on with TCG, like you mentioned, Bob.
Yeah, my only thought process, which is, it's hard for anyone to speculate or guess. It's just throwing darts at a board and hoping that you get something right. But like, if like Legends shouldn't be a VGC game at all, right? And we know that like next year's World will for sure be too restricted, Scarlet and Violet. So we know that for sure. So it doesn't matter when Legends comes out next year because it wouldn't be the VGC game anyways. Scarlet and Violet would still be. But if let's just say Legends comes out in June, that still opens up the possibility for a Gen 10 to come out in the spring, which is before Worlds. And that would be, or if it does come out in fall, then you are stuck with Scarlet and Violet for another Worlds, which I don't think they would want to do, but like, if they have to do it, they're going to do it, right? Like, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee was out fully, and they stuck with Sun and Moon, which was like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but like,
right. Well, okay. So how many worlds did they have that were Sword and Shield
3
based? They had 3 because because Legends and then Scarlet and Violet didn't come out till the following November. So that Worlds that was 2022 was still Sword and Shield. And then 2023, 2024, 2025 would be Scarlet Violet.
I mean, even if you go back to Black and White releasing in, it's either April or May in the US. That was the first like Worlds was Black and White, and all you could use was Black and White Pokemon. No legendaries. There was no Landorus at the time. There was no Tornadus, Thundurus. It was just Gothitelle, Conkeldurr, Reuniclus, the mummy Pokemon, I can't remember its name, Cofagrigus. Like those were the Pokemon being used in those battles. That was like 2011, I think.
Because Black and White came out September of 2010.
Yeah.
So then 2011's Worlds. Yeah. Would have been Black and White.
Well, September 2010 for Japan.
No. Oh, sorry. You're right. It was March. It was March of 2011. March of 2011 for America and Australia.
Yeah. So, and then that went into that Worlds. So,
and Europe. In Europe too.
And your classic Europe.
I can't forget Europe.
I've always said it on the show. I think there are definitely patterns in Pokemon for sure, but the one pattern that Pokemon has been really good at is breaking all of those patterns. Like we never got a Pokemon Gray, we never got a Pokemon Z, we got Let's Go out of nowhere, we got Legends Arceus out of nowhere. We got Legends Arceus in January of all months. Like to say that like Gen 10 has to come out in November or Legends Z-A has to come out in just January, just because the other one came out in January, is just do we all just forget about Pokemon Gray? Like that on this podcast, I'm sure I talked about it 14 years ago of like, oh, Pokemon Gray is going to be next. And then and that was trademarked. It was trademarked. We talked about it on the show that PokemonGray.com was trademarked. And they never used that trademark. They trademarked it to trademark it, and they didn't end up using it. But yeah, I do think this TCG thing has a little validity to it. Even if it doesn't line up with ZA perfectly, it is still a schedule of cards that is for sure coming out. Like these cards will definitely exist. But I think that's our show for you guys today. So Bob and Bobby, thank you for being here.
Of course. This was great.
Cool. We will probably have more Pokemon Go Max Raid Dynamax stuff next week as Niantic drip feeds this information to us. So once we actually figure out how max raid battles play and what the future of that should be, we'll talk about that. So good luck with your Suicune. You have to go to Greengrass this week. And then next week, the week after, you can go to Greengrass Beach or Lapis. If you got a really bad meal, like if you wanted desserts instead of curry, you can use the easy travel ticket to re-roll your meal and hope that you get the other one. So keep that in mind. You get 100.1 every month, right?
You get 100.1 every month, and you can spend 150 diamonds for if you want as many as you want. I was a little bummed because I didn't realize that they switch over. It must be like midnight UTC that they switch over. So like yesterday, so as we record this, right? Yesterday was August 31st at like 5 p.m. It had already switched to the September month. So like I went, I was like, oh, like let me go buy the ticket today so I can buy another one tomorrow and have two. And then I realized as I bought it, I was like, oh, it was already September's. So
you got to be buying the easy, the main skill, the sub skill. Those are first of the month purchases, Bobby.
I know. I need to do that more often. I do the sub skill every month. I didn't do the main skill in time last month.
You got to do that too.
For shame.
I know.
First of the month.
I know. I'm gonna go buy it right now. I'm gonna go buy the main skill.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super Pokemon Gray coming out in 2026.
featuring Arceus.